Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. And let's make it start. Make sure things are recorded. Okay. Right. Let's start with Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giravardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giravardhari Shodanandana Rajjana Ranjana Shodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Bol. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutle Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatham Dantam Siddhim Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shiva Shakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Katarata Kat Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatu Priyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Nama Nama Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Te Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasdi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatam Mandashi Guru Din Taranam Paramananda Madam Shishtaneshram Hariam Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jemadurya Nashta Prasya Abdureshu Nityam Bhavasya Bhavati Utam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Hare Krishna. So, last time we were discussing, we started chapter 10. I'm discussing that Krishna arrives in Dwarka and then he blows his conch, let the citizens know, get them all excited. So they're all running towards Krishna to welcome him. And we're also talking about the importance of loving relationships with Krishna. He doesn't see, how much you give him, but really, what you're holding back. So, you could be the poor of the poorest or the richest of the richest, but what are you holding back? If you're very poor, as long as you give him what you have, he's happy with that. He doesn't really need anything. He just needs our sentiment, really, our commitment to him. And he's happy with that. Otherwise, everything is given by him to us anyway. It's not like we're offering anything from ourselves. Everything is given, all Our body is given by Him, our intelligence is given by Him, our ability is given by Him, and even the soul is part and parcel of Krishna. So really nothing we can offer Him apart from our sincerity. So let's continue. Stop sharing this. And let's share this. Right, verse 7. Bhavaya nastvam bhava vishva bhavan tameva matatha suratpati pita tvam sadguru na paramam cha devatam yasya anuvritya kritano abhu vima. So Bhavya for the welfare, now for us, Tvam, your lordship, Bhav, just become Vishnu Bhavan, the creator of the universe. Tvam, your leadership, certainly Mata, mother, Atha, as also Surat Valvisha, Pati, husband, Pita, father, Tvam, your lordship, Sadguru, spiritual master, Na, our Paramam, the supreme, Cha, and Devatam, worshipful deity, Yasya, whose Anuvrita, following in the footsteps, Kritana, successful, Babhu Vim, we have become. So Srila Prabhupada explains, well, let's do a translation. O creator of the universe, you are our mother, well-wisher, Lord, Father, spiritual master, and worshipful deity. By following in your footsteps, we have become successful in every respect. We pray, therefore, that you continue to bless us with your mercy. The all-good person of Godhead, being the creator of the universe, also plans for the good of all good living beings. The good living beings are advised by the Lord to follow His good advice, and by doing so, they become successful in all spheres of life. There is no need to worship any deity but the Lord. The Lord is all powerful, and if He is satisfied by obedience unto His lotus feet, He is competent to bestow upon us all kinds of blessings for the successful execution of both our material and spiritual lives. For attaining spiritual existence, the human form is a chance for all to understand our eternal relationship with God. Our relation with Him is eternal. It can neither be broken nor vanquished. It may be forgotten for the time being, but it can be revived also by the grace of the Lord if we follow His injunctions, which are revealed in the scriptures of all times and places. So we can't, this relationship we can't break with Him, isn't it? We are parts and parcel, we are part of Him. How can you take that away? This is our in actual existence. But we can't forget, and we can also remember. But we still need His mercy to help us remember Him. But the relationship cannot be broken because we are His spark. We come from Him, the great fire. So let's see if there's anything here we can add. So the success formula is to follow the good advice of the Lord. He only does what is best for us. He only instructs what is best for us because the Lord is all good. So He doesn't. There's no. He's not controlled by any modes. He's just completely pure goodness. Because the Lord is all good. He is eternally our well-wisher. The problem is that we don't follow the good advice. For example, Ayurveda gives the best advice. If you follow it, then your chance of getting ill reduces. These instructions are revealed through Srila Prabhupada. Every purport is an instruction. Everything we need is there for Krishna consciousness. But, we think we know better. This is the problem. We don't take advice from anyone, let alone scriptures. We don't take advice. We didn't ask you for advice. If we want advice, we'll ask you. We will say that. So we don't take advice, especially someone who's very educated. They don't want to be advised. I think, come on, I know what I'm doing. I'm grown up, and I understand everything. I don't need anybody to tell me. Sometimes it's very difficult to get the educated people to come to Krishna consciousness, because they think they know better. Whatever system they are built in their head, they very hard to break that system. So Krishna likes simplicity, simple people. They can be convinced, hopefully on the right path. Excuse me. Aho sanatha bhavata swam yad vayam trevistapanam api durdarshanam prem samit sunitta niriksha nananam pashyema rupam tav sarva sobhagam. Aho, oh, it is our good luck, Sanatha, to be under the protection of the Master, the Nath. Bhavta, by your good self, Sma, as we have become, Yat Vayam, as we are, Trevishtapanam, of the demigods, Api also, Dur Darshanam, very rarely seen, Prem Samita, smiling with love, Snigdha, affectionate, Rikshan, Ananam, face looking in that mode, Pashyema, let's look, Rupam, beauty, Tav, you, Sarva, all, Sobhagam, auspiciousness. Oh, it is our good luck that we have come again today under your protection by your presence. For your lordship rarely visits even the denizens of heaven. Now it is possible for us to look into your smiling face, which is full of affectionate glances. We can now see your transcendental form, full of all auspiciousness. So the Lord in his eternal personal form can be seen only by the pure devotees. The Lord is never impersonal, but he is the supreme, absolute personality of Godhead, possible to be visited by devotional service face to face, which is impossible to be done even by the denizens of higher planets. When Brahmaji and other demigods want to consult Lord Vishnu, the plenary portion of Lord Krishna, they have to wait on the shore of the ocean of milk, where Lord Vishnu is lying on white land, which is called Shvetadip. This ocean of milk and the Shvetadip planet are the replica of Vaikuntha Lok within the universe. Neither Brahmaji nor the demigods like Indra can enter into this island of Shvetadip, but they can stand on the shore of the ocean of milk and transmit their message to Lord Vishnu, known as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Therefore, the Lord is rarely seen by them, but the inhabitants of Dwarka, because of their being pure devotees, without any tinge of the material contamination of fruity activities and empiric philosophical speculation, can see him face to face by the grace of the Lord. This is the original state of the living entities and can be attained by reviving our natural and constitutional state of life, which is discovered by devotional service only. So the devotees can see the Lord all the time. Other people cannot see him all the time. So the Dwarka residents appreciated Krishna's presence. They could see him face to face. For us, devotional service is the only method by which we can revive our relationship with Krishna and see him face to face. This means we want to be engaged in some practical devotional service that we can render to Srila Prabhupada's mission, so that by serving him in devotional service, at the same time pleasing him. So it's not just a matter of serving, you need the right attitude to serve as well. Serving alone is not enough, be mechanical. You need the right emotions to serve. So that by serving him in devotional service, at the same time render pleasing him, we can revive our Krishna consciousness even more quicker. If we develop the attitude of service, we will be influenced by the attitude of being the master. If we develop the attitude of service, we will not be influenced by the attitude of being the master. With the attitude, we will be bound. So if we develop the attitude of the master, we will be bound in the material world. We need to come to the realization of being a servant. So we need that service mood, and then ask the question, how can I be of service? What service can I do? The beauty is that you can do the service that you love and resonates with you in terms of skill or ability. That's like Varnashma Dharma. you then become absorbed, become a master in that service. That service drives you. It inspires you. That service will be your ticket to see the lotus face of Krishna. So something that you enjoy doing, you are good at. If you do that, then for Krishna, then you can go deeper. You can make a deeper connection with Krishna. Also, at the same time, sometimes these emergency services have to be done as well. But it's good to connect with Krishna through what you are good at, with your skills. So that's a good thing, but it's also recommended that sometimes you have to do some other things as well, not just just do what you like doing. Sometimes you may have to do something that you're not exactly fond of, but it's required to be done at the time. Now one can say that chanting Hare Krishna is service. But Prabhupada always recommends that we chant Hare Krishna, but also he recommends that we do some practical service. These are Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Sincerity means to accept the big and small instructions of Srila Prabhupada. This pleases Srila Prabhupada and Krishna and expedites our revival process of Krishna consciousness. So because chanting is just keep chanting all the time. That's a very yogic method, like a yogi, just constantly sitting and chanting. That is not enough. There's a lot of other things around the chanting process. You should be chanting with the mood of a servant. The mood of servant will only come if you serve. If you just think, oh, I'm a servant, please engage me in your devotion service, Krishna, and don't do anything, then what is the point? Your mood should be of the servant. So you serve, you chant with that mood by doing some service. So that's very important. And also you take in knowledge as well, because you should know why you are chanting. What's the process? What do you intend to achieve by chanting? That is also required. So we need to read the scriptures. We have to understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. These three scriptures, Prabhupada said they contain everything that we need to know. So there's processes around chanting that are very necessary. They're conducive to good chanting. Otherwise, you're just mechanically chanting with no meaning to it. Okay, let's move on to 9. Yarhi ambujaksha pasasara bohobhavan kurun madhunvat surad didrikshya tatrabad koti pritima shano bhaved ravim vinakshno eva nastava achuta uttavuchita. Yarhi, whenever ambuj aksh, O lotus-eyed one, apsa sar, you go away, bo, O Bhavan, yourself, Kurun, the descendants of King Kuru, Madhun, the inhabitants of Mathura, O the Rajbhumi, Va, either at, therefore, Surat Dirikshya, for meeting them, Tatra, at that time, Abad Koti, millions of years, Pratima, like Shana, moments, Bhavet, becomes, Ravim, the sun, Veena, without, Akshano, of the eyes, Eva, like that, Na, Astav, Yo, Achuta, O infallible one. O lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless as if bereft of sun. So we're all proud of our material senses for making experiments to determine the existence of God. But we forget that our senses are not absolute by themselves. They can only act under certain conditions. For example, our eyes, as long as the sunshine is there, our eyes are useful to a certain extent. But in the absence of sunshine, the eyes are useless. Lord Shri Krishna, being the primal Lord, the supreme truth, is compared to the sun. Without him, all our knowledge is either false or partial. The opposite of the sun is the darkness, and similarly the opposite of Krishna is Maya or illusion. The devotee of the Lord can see everything in true perspective due to the light disseminated by Lord Krishna. By the grace of the Lord, the pure devotee cannot be in the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, it is necessary that we must always be in the sight of Lord Krishna, so that we can see both ourselves and the Lord with his different energies. As we cannot see anything in the absence of the sun, so also we cannot see anything, including our own self, without the factual presence of the Lord. Without him, all our knowledge covered by illusion. Excuse me. So this is 9. So as here is mentioned that Krishna also visits Mathura Vrindavan, his friends and relatives. Knowledge minus Krishna is illusion. Existence minus Krishna is material. A life minus Krishna is useless. So without Krishna, nothing, there's no meaning. There's only illusion, there's only material, external energy, and life is useless. And this is how a lot of people are living. They're living in illusion, thinking they're this body, and they're living a useless life. They will waste their human life, and will just the one day they'll lose it, and that's it. Nothing gained from it, and they might come back as animals or go to lower planets. You see all these prisons full of people. They're very, very dangerous criminals. They show programs like where these are very secure prisons. They want to make sure these people they don't break out. They spend millions. They might have money to eat, but the countries they'll spend so much money to keep those criminals in the prison, and yet they send people, Christian preachers to preach to them. Maybe they can understand, and then some of them start repenting that I have done very wrong. I have, they've killed people and taken lives, obviously, and now when they understand something, they hear about God, they realize what a useless life they've lived. But it's nice, it's good. I mean, they won't leave the prison just for knowing that, but at least their consciousness is thinking that we did wrong, and that repentance itself is is advancement for these people. And and they, like before, when they were outside, they were doing they were actually is described that these people were the masters of the little territory they were controlling. These like gangsters and drug leaders, they're controlling territories. But now they are in the prison. They can't even move without the permission of the prison management, like that. Now they've been completely controlled. And before they thought they were the masters. Now they're realizing that we're not the masters here, and we're not masters anywhere else. And some of them are realizing, but yeah. So here is mentioned that Krishna also visits Mathura Vrindavan, his friends. Okay, I think we've done that one. Let's move on to 10. Katham vayam nat chiroshite tvai prasandristikila tap shoshanam jivemati sundarhas shobitam apashyamana vaddanam manhoram. So then iti chodrita vacha prajanam bhakt vatsalaha shrinvano nugram dristya vitanvan parvishyat puram. Okay, I do this on. O Master, if you lived abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. How can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing these speeches, the Lord, who is very kind to citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwarka and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them. So it's a dilemma. When Krishna left Hastinapur, he left people crying and in separation, and now he's come back to Dwarka. There's people crying there, meeting him. Everybody wants him, and it's a good job. He's all pervading because everybody wants him, and they want him face to face in this instance, and only God, even God is moving from one place to another with his wives. 16,108 wives. He can be there with them separately, with each one. But here, as collectively, people are, he's either here or he's there, and I think he wants to create that mood of separation, intensify their bhakti. Lord Krishna's attraction is so powerful that once being attracted by him, one cannot tolerate separation from him. This is the thing. So he wants to intensify that. Why is this so? Because we are all eternally related with him, as the sun rays are eternally related with the sun disk. So we are part of him. We cannot be separated. The sun rays are, although we are known as the separated energies, but we still come from him. The sun rays are molecular parts of the solar radiation. Thus, the sun rays and the sun cannot be separated. The separation by the cloud is temporary and artificial, and as soon as the cloud is cleared, the sun rays again display their natural effulgence in the presence of the sun. Similarly, the living entities, who are molecular parts of the whole spirit, are separated from the Lord by the artificial covering of Maya, or illusory energy. So Maya is like clouds just covering. This illusory energy, or the curtain of Maya, has to be removed. And when it is done, the living entity can see the Lord face to face, and all his miseries are at once removed. Every one of us wants to remove the miseries of life, but we don't know how to do it. The solution is given here, and it rests on us to assimilate it or not. So let's see what we have for 10. So Krishna never fails to reciprocate to the prayers of his devotees with his smile. Krishna is like the sun, and we are his molecules. There are many societies, clubs which are not connected to Krishna. They are simply another illusory society. It's just Maya. So when we know the solution and we are embracing it, Srila Prabhupada tries different ways so it clicks with us. It takes gallons of blood to make a devotee. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioned that he gives us different examples. It might be compared to a spark and fire. Here we compare it to the sun and the sun rays. But end of the day, the principle is the same. Whichever method or analogy that we look at. So we cannot be separated. And when we are separated, if we understand the relationship, that's sabandha, and when we are separated, we feel the separation. Well, when we understand illusion, we don't even want to know. You hear about Krishna, you chant somebody the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they say, stop this nonsense, or why are you always talking about Krishna all the time? People tell you your face, they just don't understand that we are connected with Krishna in any way. So that's illusion. Okay. And 11, Madhuboja Dasha Raha Kukru Nandaka Vrishnibi Atam Tulya Bale Guptam Nager Bhagavatam Eva. So Madhu Bhoja Dashara Arha Kukur Andak Vrishnibi, by the descendants of Vrishni, Atam Tulya, as good as himself, Balahi, by strength, Guptam, protected, Nagahi, by the Nagas, Bhagavatim, the capital of Naglok, even like. So he says, as Bhagavati, the capital of Naglok, is protected by the Nags, so was Dwarka protected by the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoja, Madhu, Dashara, Arha, Kukr, Andak, etc., who was as strong as Lord Krishna. So all these, I mean, we know about the Rishnis and the Bhojas, but they've included the Madhus and the Dashara, Arha, Kukra, like that. All these were they were protecting, or descendants of Rishni. They were the descendants, and they were protecting Dwarka. The Nagalok planet is situated below the Earth planet, and it is understood that the sun rays are hampered there. The darkness of the planet is, however, removed by the flashes of the jewels set on the heads of the Nags, or the celestial serpents. It is said that there are beautiful gardens, rivulets, etc., for the enjoyment of the Nags. It is understood here also that place is well protected by the inhabitants. So also the city of Dwarka was well protected by the descendants of Vrishni, who were as powerful as the Lord insofar as he manifested his strength upon this earth. So, protection of Dwarka was from great personalities. Everyone in Dwarka is a devotee of Krishna. There are devotees, warriors who protect the citizens. So not only devotee, Brahmanas, Kirtaniyas, Pujaris, but Kshatriya spirit devotees are required. So all devotees are not meant to be okay. Well, it's basically saying that we need Kshatriyas, although we need Pujaris, Brahmanas, Kirtaniyas, but we need Kshatriyas as well sometimes, like the situation that happens in Mayapur or the temples and in Bengal as well. That so that's the point here, that it was protected by the Kshatriyas, and we also need Kshatriyas. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning to protect ourselves, whether with guns or martial arts. So sometimes we need that as well, like in Bhagavad-Gita. Sometimes we need to fight for dharma, to protect the dharma, as it was done in Bhagavad-Gita. So it can't always be Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. You can't. If you have been attacked, your family's been attacked, the devotees have been attacked, you can't just say Om Shanti. Sometimes you have to defend yourselves as well, and that's the point in this verse here. Okay. So finally, we'll just do one more. Sarvatu sarva vibhav punya vriksha lata sharmahi udyano pava nara amer vrita padmakar shriyam. So sarv, all ritu, seasons, serve all vibhav, opulence, punya, pious, vriksha, trees, lata, creepers, ashrimahi, with hermitages, udyan, orchards, upavan, flower gardens, aramahi, pleasure gardens, and beautiful parks, vrita, surrounded by padam, akar, the birthplace of lotuses, or nice reservoirs of water, shriyam, increasing the beauty. So the city of Dwarkapuri was filled with the opulences of all seasons. There were hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, parks, and reservoirs of water, breeding lotus flowers all over. So perfection of human civilization is made possible by utilizing the gifts of nature in their own way, as we find here in the description of its opulence. So Dwarka was known for its opulence. This is where Krishna is most opulent, and in Vrindavan he's most sweet, like that, in different categories. Dwarka was surrounded by flower gardens and fruit orchards, along with reservoirs of water and growing lotuses. There is no mention of mills and factories supported by slaughterhouses, which are the necessary paraphernalia of modern metropolis. The propensity to utilize nature's own gifts is still there, even in the heart of modern civilized man. The leaders of the modern civilization select their own residential quarters in a place where there are such naturally beautiful gardens and reservoirs of water, but they leave the common man to reside in congested areas without parks and gardens, like they call concrete jungles. Herein, of course, we find a different description of the city of Dwarka. It is understood that the whole Dham or residential quota was surrounded by such gardens and parks with reservoirs of water where lotuses grew. So these facilities were given to everyone, not just for the elite. It is understood that all the people depended on nature's gifts of fruits and flowers without industrial enterprises promoting filthy huts and slums for residential quarters. Advancement of civilization is estimated not on the growth of mills and factories to deteriorate the finer instincts of human being, but on developing the potent spiritual instincts of human beings and giving them a chance to go back to Godhead. Development of factories and mills is called Ugar Karma, or pungent activities, and such activities deteriorate the finer sentiments of the human being and society to form a dungeon of demons. So this is Prabhupada's purport. We find herein the mention of pious trees which produce seasonal flowers and fruits. The impious trees are useless, jungles only. So there's pious trees and there's impious trees, as mentioned in this purport, and they can only be used to supply fuels. In the modern civilization, such impious trees are planted on the sides of the roads. Human energy should be properly utilized in developing the finer senses for spiritual understanding, in which lies the solution of life. So sometimes you see trees giving fruits. They look like they're like oranges, and they are on the sides, on the roadside, and you think, wow, how great this government is. They're putting fruits all over the roads, on the pavements, so everybody got access. But actually, those fruits are not meant to be eaten; they're for decoration only. So it's like that. They are impious. They look pious trees, but they're actually impious trees because those fruits are really not good to anyone at all. It just looks good to look at. It's an orange, nice colors. Looks good to look at, but they can't be used or eaten. As against is the dungeons of mines, factories and workshops develop demoniac propensities in the working class. The vested interests flourish at the cost of the working class, and consequently there are severe clashes between them in so many ways. The description of Dwarka Dham is the ideal of human civilization. So Krishna tried to show us everything, in different places where he was. He tried to show, what's the right way. Krishna comes himself and, shows us the method. So I'll just have a little read here. So we are practicing spiritual life. Practice of spiritual life is called sadhana. Senses are called sadhan. These are required for sadhana. So that's where the word sadhana comes from sadhan. To achieve perfection, sadhya. When your sadhan or senses are impacted by a negative environment, then one is not inspired to practice sadhana. The environment should be in the mode of goodness to become an impetus for spiritual progress. Otherwise, in the mode of passion and ignorance, we're just not interested in bhakti. Having the right environment is the first step in helping the soul. So we got association with the right environment. We got to make the right environment in our house as well. It should be in the mode of goodness. So you naturally want to do sadhana, bhakti. Srila Prabhupada came to the West to give them the culture of Dwarka, which is the ideal of perfect civilization, not to take on their culture. He was confident that every question on any field could be answered in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It's the spiritual encyclopedia. Bhagavad-Gita gives synopsis of topics in 700 verses, which are expanded into 18,000 verses in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Okay, so we leave it at that. And wonderful verses explaining that what is actually true reality and how we are living in illusion, living useless lives if Krishna is not involved, if we don't include Krishna. That's what Krishna wants. He said, just include me, not because I'm lonely or need to be included. He's got unlimited souls serving him, He says that include me to make things real. Otherwise, it's just all illusion. As if you include me, then you start understanding reality. Slowly, that torchlight will give us the knowledge that we need when Krishna's in the picture, and we won't even know when we sort of changed our material desires into spiritual desires, because material illusion means we are just focusing on material desires, and when the illusion is slowly lifted, then those material desires still be there. We need to, this is what we do, we must have desires, that's that to feel alive, but the desires will just change by themselves. Instead of listening to the radio one in the morning and doing watching some dramas, we're doing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam instead. Like people listen to radio before going to work, and listen to songs, and all that, this and that. But those desires have changed, that we think we need to keep this consciousness purified, and having sanghas like this, it maintains the consciousness throughout the day, that we can feel connected all the time. So thank you so much, and love to hear from yourselves. Hina Mataji, let's make a start with yourselves. And oh yes, you're right. Yes, sorry Mataji. Yes, I do remember seeing the message. I just remember the part that you were going to leave early. So okay, yes, listening only as well. So we'll go straight on to Kiran Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Amazing verses as always. Commences by a recognition that Krishna is everything. Mother, father, master, guru, you name it, he is it. The source of everything. It is worth noting that Arjun and Krishna, whilst they were at the battlefield and Arjun was having his crisis, Krishna said to him, there was never a time that we were not known to each other. And hence the soul is eternal, and understanding that eternality of the soul should remind us that we are part and partial of divinity. We are a spark of that sun. We're a ray that is emitted from that effulgent that is eternal. The wise who study these scriptures, they understand that we do not have to be afraid, because we are in that eternal relationship with Krishna. There are those speculators and the educated. No matter what we say and do and explain that Krishna is God and all has emerged from Krishna. And they will philosophize it by telling us, well, there was this enormous Big Bang and everything then started from there. But the mundane individual who cannot recognize the power of divinity will remain in the illusory world. We can see that Krishna's hand is in everything. It is our good fortune that we're able to have this darshan and association on a regular and daily basis. It is this that will purify our hearts and our minds and our senses and our soul. The time to serve is now. We have on many, many lives forgotten. It does say in the Gita, I am memory, I am forgetfulness, but what you lack, I will carry. So all we have to do is continue to serve, be the das of the das of the das. Whoever you are with, just continue to serve them. It doesn't make us any lower. In fact, it makes us even higher because the service gives us the opportunity to let go of our anarthas, the ego. Life has to be accompanied by Krishna. Krishna is the driving force, the force that will keep us liberated. Yes, people are incarcerated in prisons, the addicts, the criminals, the druggies. Alcohol has also dulled the senses, and therefore our addiction continues. Those people are in a prison of bars. We are in a prison of Maya. We may think that we are free, but we're not free of illusion. We have to cultivate that relationship and attach to Krishna to be freed of this bondage. And the approach Krishna has set out in the Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad-Gita, in the CC, is our A-levels, our degrees, our PhDs, and that philosophy and our adherence to what the Varnashram system was initially set out for is for our good intention to collaborate and cooperate and coexist and live in harmony with each other. And we live in the Kali Yuga, of course we do. But still, you have to cultivate those good propensities in each one of us so that we become good human beings. So Krishna can at some point glance his eye at us and say, yeah, he's worthy of coming home. We have to become souls to be liberated. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to reclaim the souls. Let's hope we're those souls. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rohini. Thank you so much. Yeah, interesting. You say that like at least people who are locked up, they understand they are in prison, they're behind bars, and they've done something wrong. But a lot of us are in Maya, in the prison of Maya, and we don't even understand it. That we can't. If we don't understand it, then you can't repent, right? So there's no repentance. If you're in a physical prison, you can repent, say, yeah, I've done something wrong. Done these crimes, and then you explain that yes, you don't do these things, and there's a price to pay, not only in this, by the government, the price to pay in the eyes of God as well. You will suffer for this, and they can repent. But people who don't feel that we've done anything, I mean, even like avoiding God is a crime by itself, because we think we're the masters, we think we're the controllers, we're the proprietors. That's against God's, his laws. Okay, they might not be the laws of the country, but Krishna has his laws as well, and we don't realize when we're breaking his laws. We just think, why are we suffering? Oh, because there's three miseries and etc. We're suffering them, but we are there's a lot of laws that we are breaking as well, which we never try to find out what those laws are. Thank you, Prabhu. Ajay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Krishna, we take for granted just how important Krishna is in terms of we understand that he is the absolute truth. But what does that actually mean? I mean, it means he's Brahman in terms of his effulgence. Everything sits on that. His energies, we rely on them, not only for spiritual advancement, but for living in this material world. If we wish to be confused and wish to live a degraded life, he maintains all of us as Paramatma. That's one thing a lot of people refuse to accept or don't appreciate, that without his sanction, we can't do anything. It just, even from the beginning, nothing happens without his will. He's the one who allows us to have this so-called enjoyment. But that doesn't mean he wants us to actually be in this condition. He wants us to actually enjoy with him. It is just our own stubbornness that we are here. But if you have the good fortune of taking association of devotees, taking association of Shastra, then you understand that you can get the ultimate realization in terms of understanding that Krishna is also Bhagavan as well, as a higher understanding his likes and dislikes, his opulences, what pleases him. And when you understand what pleases him, you understand what pleases yourself as well. When you come to devotional service and you actually get going, it actually becomes a lot more straightforward. It's just that initial hurdle where you're expecting perfection in a imperfect world. Yet it can be perfect when you connect properly with Krishna. Even we see with the Krishna's great associates, despite all the suffering, they're happy because they're situated within the love of Krishna. This can work in this world and the spiritual world. It's just that we need to be cognizant that we want to connect where Krishna wants us to be. So if Krishna tells us that go and serve in some lower planet or some other planet, that's fine. But otherwise, we're just looking to be with Krishna, and that's usually Goloka Vrindavan. Krishna says otherwise, then that's fine. It's just important that we understand that Krishna is our well-wisher, and if we are, and if we want to understand what true happiness is, and happiness is with Krishna. It's not our own concoction. It's when we try to concoct our own ideas, that's when we get confused. It's quite simple actually. Just you have to take the bhakti. That's always that initial hurdle, that doubt. If you actually take the time to read the Shastra, take an association of those that have taken advanced in bhakti, then it becomes a lot more simple. It's a simple process, but just as I say, it's a higher truth, it's a higher learning. It's just it's getting going really. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhupada says that it's so simple that we miss the point. It feels something complicated, but it's very simple. We just have to understand it. We have to want to understand it, then we can understand it.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Yes, wonderful verses. Now we are in Dwarka, and the citizens of Dwarka, they see Krishna, they see their Lord, they see their everything, and this is what is missing in the Kali Yuga, that all of us, we know that even the one who don't believe in God, the atheists, they know that the sunshine is coming from somewhere. The seasons are coming from somewhere, but they fail to realize the source. The source is the Lord. The source is the God. So that connection is missing in this Kali Yuga, in this day and age. We've seen that in Dwarka there was respect amongst the citizens for each other. They had respect for the Lord. They were well-wishers for each other, and they were well respected by the Lord and between themselves. So there was so much which is missing in this world, in this day and age, because the main thing is missing. The focus is missing. When you don't when you just live for yourself, you just are thinking that you are the masters. We'll read in the further verses, in the further cantos, where in one of the purpose Prabhupada says, the master is a fool. So we have become masters, and we have forgotten it is temporary, you know. Whatever is given in this life is only very temporary. Even if someone is a CEO of a very big multinational, there's only a time period set. After that, that person becomes any ordinary person. So all the designations, all the the name, fame, everything is so temporary. So the relationship between the divine and the devotees, that is stressed in these verses. The ones who really worship Lord dearly, like the 12 Mahajans which are described in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, they had seen Bhagwan in person, Bhishma Pitamaha, and so many others mentioned. Also, the emotional turmoil of the devotees, which is experienced by them, whether it was at that time or it's in Kali Yuga. When the dependence on Lord is there, when the surrender is there, the troubles come, but the troubles go away. There's a lesson from the trouble. Persons learn, and they become better persons. So even at that time, there was emotional turmoil. When Krishna was away, when Krishna came, they felt a lot of emotions came up. There were emotive reactions, but in this day and age, we fail to understand most of the time that Maya, which is described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that which is not illusion. We just want to enjoy everything minus Krishna. So, as we know, yesterday Pitru Paksh finished, and today Navratri have started. So Lord has designed the years, the months, the fortnights, the weeks in this beautiful way, that one festival goes, another is in the offing. So people live their daily lives, but along with the daily life, there is the presence of God, the presence of divinity. There's an excuse to open a shastra, open a book, or listen to some bhajans, or say a few things to the young ones in the family. Do some worship. This is devotional service. This is the personal service. What is devotional service? Devotional service is the personal service. Bhakti is your personal service, not just chanting like it was being said in the class. The chanting has to be meaningful. Why we are chanting, for who we are chanting, and what's the purpose. Because if we are just serving Maya, life is purposeless. We have to make our lives meaningful. We have to do all the roles which we are given in this life, whether you are an earner of a family, whether you are looking after the family, maintaining the family, bringing up the children, or even if you are a holder of a business, or you've got professional titles, everything has to be with Krishna in the center. Then you are able to live your role authentically, and the purpose you never forget. Because I remember in Manor once we were there, and we were told that there are some really, really successful businessmen around Manor in Watford, London Temple. They come in the Bentley every morning to take the darshans of the Lord. And after finishing their work, they have another habit. They say pranams to the Lord, and then they end their day. So what a beautiful thing. So you can be very rich, you can be the holder of all of Maya, but if you've got Krishna in the center, your character and the way you carry your life, it just stands out, and you please the Lord, and by your actions you'll be pleasing the society as well. You'll be making the devotees around you without even doing anything. So this is what these verses, they tell us every day, that not just like the Dwarka, it had all the opulences because God was there as personally. But in Kali Yuga we see there is a one side, there's a lot of Maya. The facilities are not given to the citizens as it should be. Only the elite, few elite, have got the best of the housings, the best of the dwellings, the best of everything, and the common people, they're just toiling day and night in the substandard life and living a substandard life. Well, everything can change. There's enough in the world. If it was divided, it was given equally to everybody, nobody will be short of anything. But then again, the persons who are exploiting, they are accruing bad karma for the further lives, and the ones who are just going through it, maybe they will come out as the the more successful, and the ones, they will be ruling on the others in next life, because this is how the karma cycle goes on. So yeah, lots of lovely lessons again, as always, from today's verses, and I look forward to the verses next time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada says, don't follow blindly. He doesn't expect us to just follow blindly, as some readers might say, just follow me, and you'll be successful. Prabhupada doesn't say that. He says, follow the scriptures, Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. Don't just follow one, follow them all, and see if they all agree with what's been said. They all should be in line. And so don't follow blindly. Try to understand the Shastra. This is what we're doing. This is another thing we're doing. We're trying to understand the Shastras, what Krishna's message is to us. And does he agree with what Srila Prabhupada is saying? Does he agree with what other senior devotees are saying? There should be all one message, not different messages. Then it gets confusing. It should be all understood in the same way. And also, as Radharani mentioned, that these people come in Bentley to pay the obeisances to the Lord every morning. Well, because they've understood that all opulences are given by God. They all belong to Him. He's Bhagwan, full of 6 opulences, and if He has given us something, we should be thankful for it, not be arrogant about it or anything like that. Look down at other people. We should thank God for giving us the opportunity, giving us the facility, and to serve Him with those opulences. That's so. So thank you all so much. Thank you for your input, wonderful input. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch up again on Wednesday morning. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Nande, Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
And happy Navratri.
Happy Navratri. Hare Krishna.